Wow! Look at that picture over there on your left, my right. That's a huge jumping winning percentage for some of those teams. So I'm going to put it out there, Spurs fans. With Chris Paul now being with our Spurs, are our San Antonio Spurs a playoff team? What is up, San Antonio Spurs fans? Welcome to TSR Sports. Hope you're having a great day. Saw that picture last night. And the guys over at Pounding the Rock covered it, one of my favorite sites. And I said, you know what? Let's talk about what they're talking about. We'll talk together. But yeah, Chris Paul is often referred to as the point god. But it's not just personal abilities on the court. Wherever CP3 has gone, he has improved the teams he has joined. Paul was drafted 4th overall. So is Stephon Castle. Good sign? Probably. He played with the Hornets for his first 6 seasons where he helped them improve their winning percentage from 22% to 46.3%. But his first team is not his only success. The CP3 effect clearly illustrates his impact in that. You look at some of those jumps there. 22% to 46, 39 to 60, 67 to 79. Sure, marginal impacts in other places. 46 to almost 71. Not so much with the Warriors. So you kind of look at this graph and you look at 27% for our Spurs last season. Actually, 27% for the last 2 seasons. Where are we going to be at? I'll give my thoughts here in just a few moments. Let's continue on with the article from Pounding the Rock. The Los Angeles Clippers, where he and DeAndre Jordan and Blake Griffin created Lob City and pushed their way into the postseason each of Paul's 6 seasons. He was with the Clippers. That didn't sound wrong. You know what I mean? After moving to the Houston Rockets, CP3 elevated an already impressive James Harden and the Rockets to the point where they nearly beat the championship caliber Golden State Warriors. That was what, 2019? Or was that 18? 19? Were it not for an injury to CP3, the Rockets may have made it to the NBA Finals. And they went over to the Oklahoma City Thunder, where he was traded for Russell Westbrook, and it was expected for the Thunder to drop with that trade. But Paul's impressive play landed OKC the 5th seed, and the Thunder took his former Rockets team to the 7th game. Okay, so far so good. And in 2020, CP3 joined the Phoenix Suns and helped them make their way to the NBA Finals, his first ever trip after so many years in the mix. They didn't win the championship, but they did make it. With the Spurs coming off a 22-60 season, it seems most reasonable that after a year of adjusting to Victor Wembanyama, their winning percentage will improve. Yes, it's going to improve. But with the insane numbers Paul has brought to each team he joins, it will be worth noting just how much better the San Antonio Spurs are with him this season. This is where I'm going to start dropping my 2 cents. Okay, so the Chris Paul effect. I think we have to take that with a little bit of a grain of salt going into this season. I don't see him playing 82 games for the Spurs. Probably an injury or pop-up here or there, a load management, resting, whatever, because he is going to be 39 when the season starts. And we've talked about it a little on this channel. He might not even be here after the All-Star break. He could bring in Chris Paul for half the season, have him mentor all the guys. Then at the All-Star break, a playoff team needs him, and we can get some more assets, so he could be traded, and he's already done his mentorship, if you will, with our guys. I do think it's going to be Lob City 2.0 for Chris Paul with Wemby. He's going to help mentor Stephon Castle, Trey Jones, Blake Wesley, even Wemby himself, because Wemby's a great passer, and pretty much everybody on the team. I have a feeling Chris Paul is going to really teach the guys to pass it to Wemby. Lob, 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 and other guys will certainly benefit from the lobs. Jeremy Sohan, Devin Vassell, Keldon Johnson, etc., etc. As far as the Spurs are playoff team, finally for me to finally chip into the original question, I see our Spurs winning 35 to 40 games this season, and I think we'll just miss the play-on. You might be saying, wow, TSR, whoa, you're being Mr. Negative. You're crazy. We're so much better. The reason I think we're going to be around that 35 to 41 marker is the West is stacked. Check this out. 40 wins last season would have gotten you 12th place in the West. And let's not forget, the Memphis Grizzlies were awful last year because John Morant missed most of the year. They were decimated with injuries. They should be a playoff team again and north of 45 to 50 wins easily. Sir, there's some teams in there that may take a step back. Golden State Warriors may slip a little bit. The Clippers too. Whatever happens, I think the Western Conference is going to be rough again. So to get 35 to 40 wins would be good. I think we're going to be fringe playing because Wemby's just that good. But we also have to remember we're a young team. Stefan Castle's a rookie, and if he's starting, he's going to make mistakes. And I have a feeling he's going to start. I know some folks are pushing back a little bit, saying TSR, he's not going to start. It's like, 4th overall pick starting on the bench? Yeah, it could happen, but he's so good defensively. I think we're going to go small and start him, but hey, stranger things have happened. Maybe Champagne will still be in the starting line. We got Castle, the rookie, and we're still developing guys. Guys that really need development. Jeremy Sochan needs some work. Malachi Branham need a lot of work. And you have the other players, like really that draft class, now I think about it. Sochan, Branham, and Wesley, they still have a lot of work to do with that draft class. Wemby's just gonna go on his own and do his thing. And then there's other players on the team that are still, guys that I like Keldon Johnson, who's a defensive liability. Guys I'm maybe not big on, like Zach Collins, who's a defensive liability. And I think it's gonna be another year where people are trying to figure out the roles, trying to figure out the best lineup around Wemby, because there's also the X factor of Sandro Mamukelashvili, if you will. Played great with Wemby at the end of the year. Does he get some more playing time significantly more playing time? Is he going to start getting 20 to 25 minutes a game? Whose minutes get taken away? Is he going to take away from Zach Collins? Did Mamu play so well with Wemby last year? He actually ends up being in the starting lineup if he signs his contract. I don't remember reading that he signed his contract yet. We made an offer to him. He's always a restricted free agent. But I expect him to fully come back to San Antonio. Why wouldn't you want to come back to San Antonio? So there's a lot of question marks, I think, in regards to maybe the starting lineup. I don't think Champagne will be in there, but the Spurs could bring Stefan Castle off the bench. And then what's our bench look like? We're seeing that Chris Paul, I'm just kind of going off on a tangent because I'm starting to think out loud here. Trey Jones, I expected to be the starter next season. I don't think that's going to be the case. So is our starting lineup going to be Wemby, maybe Mamu, Vassell, Sochan, and Chris Paul? Because I know we've talked about on this channel Stefan Castle starting with Sochan, Vassell, and Paul and Wemby, but that would be kind of a small lineup. I know Wemby's not small, but the other 4 average height would be below the NBA average height. It'll be interesting to see how the season plays out. It's going to be fun, and other things could happen before then. Could we make another trade? Lauri Markkanen's name's all over the place. We did a video on that recently. I don't think the Spurs are going to make a trade for him. I think the trade market needs to stabilize. It's off the rails right now with the Mikal Bridges trade. The Rudy Gobert trade also set things off in a weird motion. So I think we're going to start seeing some trades in the NBA that kind of stabilize the trade market, a more realistic trade market. 5 first-round picks, 6th-round picks for Lauri Markkanen. No way. If the Spurs do want him and they can get him for maybe no picks next year. We're not trading anything for 2000. Well, maybe the Charlotte pick for 2025, but future picks in 2 first-rounders and then maybe some second-rounders, maybe 3. But I have a feeling the asking price is going to be 4 first-round picks or 5 first-round picks, and no, I don't see it happening. It's a great time to be a Spurs fan. It's so exciting what's happening with our team. And, of course, the foundation is Wemby, and just getting the other pieces to start falling in place. Is Devin the guy shooting guard for the next decade? Will Stefan Castle be our starting point guard for the next decade? Is Sochan's offense going to turn around where he's a valuable asset? Is he going to be a great two-way player on both ends of the floor? We already know what we got with Wemby. And then who's the final guy to fill out that starting lineup? It's not going to be Chris Paul because he's closer to retirement than starting a dynasty, if you will. Well, who's the missing piece? Cooper Flag? I'm going to say it. I'm going to keep saying it. I'm going to keep... if we have two lottery picks next year, our own, if we're going to be a fringe playing team and still get a lottery pick, and then Atlanta Hawks suck in our lottery team, that's 2 chances at Coop. And I got to think that would fill out our starting up nicely. That's all I got. Hope you're having a great day. Drop a comment down below. Do you think we're a playoff team? Do you think I'm off with the 35 to 40 wins? If so, what's your number? Hit the thumbs up, like Sports channel, and subscribe to become part of our awesome San Antonio Spurs community. I thank you, and as always, go Spurs go.
To Wemby.